Tarrasch trap starts with e4, e5, knight to f3, attacks black center pawn. Knight c6, defends the pawn. Bishop to b5 immediately attacks the knight as well as undermines the defense of this pawn. Black plays a6 to kick off this bishop. Bishop moves to a4 and now knight to f6, attacking white's center pawn. And now instead of trying to protect this pawn over here, white immediately castles for quick development and also to start attacking black's centralized king. Black happily captures the center pawn and now white plays a very interesting move d4, immediately attacking black's center pawn so as to open up lines of attack for the rook and the queen. Now if black makes a mistake of capturing this pawn back, then he will lose to rook to e1, which pins the knight to the black king. Black would defend with d5 in order to protect this knight, but now white can play knight takes d4, putting a lot of pressure on this pinned knight over here. If black plays bishop to d7 in order to unpin this knight, then black simply loses to bishop takes knight, bishop takes bishop, knight takes bishop, pawn takes knight, and now f3. Black is losing a piece over here. Let's go back. So therefore in this situation, when white puts a lot of pressure on this point, if black tries to do some counter activity with bishop c5, not only developing his bishop but also attacking this knight, then white can simply continue with bishop takes knight check, pawn takes bishop, and now since this knight is protected, we do not have to worry about it and white can simply play f3, winning a piece over here. Therefore, let's go back to the original situation on the board. So therefore, in this situation, after d4, black will not capture this pawn. Instead, what he will try to do is play b5 so that white will not be able to build up pressure over here. Bishop moves to b3 and now black plays d5, closing down the diagonal for this bishop as well as providing defense to this knight. White can simply here play pawn captures pawn, and now white is putting a lot of pressure on this pawn and there is only one defender of this pawn. So black will play bishop to e6 to add another defender. And now white here plays c3. Why c3? Well, the idea is if black tries to play knight to a5 in order to attack a strong bishop over here, then the bishop has an escape route where it can come to c2 and put a lot of pressure on this knight. So therefore c3 makes a lot of sense. And here black should continue with playing bishop to c5, which puts a lot of pressure on this pawn. But a lot of players here end up playing bishop to e7. They play a passive move and just prepares their king to get castle. And now here you can play rook to e1, activating your rook on the semi-open e-file, putting a lot of pressure on this knight. And now here black will simply castle, and now you can play knight to d4, attacking this undefended knight over here as well as this bishop over here. And here if black wants to get some advantage in the game, then he should simply just capture the centralized pawn over here, which is for free. But instead, what a lot of players think over here, that it's okay to play queen to d7 because it not only defends the knight but also connects black's rooks. So some players will play queen to d7 over here, but that's a mistake. Why? Because now you can spoil black's game with knight takes bishop. And how exactly this move is spoiling black's game? Well, if black captures the knight back with the pawn, then you can simply win a free piece over here with rook takes knight. The pawn can capture back because it's currently pinned and the queen is totally undefended over here. So if pawn captures, then black loses the queen. Let's go back, and if here black captures back with his queen, then again white can simply grab a free piece and the pawn again cannot capture back, otherwise he loses the queen once again. So this is called as the Tarrasch trap, where white wins a free piece over here. And believe it or not, two famous chess players, Johannes Zukertort and Isidor Gunsberg, fell for this trap when playing against the very famous German chess player Siegbert Tarrasch. And because Siegbert Tarrasch was the first player to come up with this innovative trap in those early chess days, therefore this trap was named after him. If you enjoyed learning this trap, then hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel. And here is the question of the day for you. So it's black's turn in the game and it's a mate in 7. So can you find the winning moves for black over here? Let me know your answers in the comments box and I'll see you in the next video.